Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I am just about ready to go off to work. In fact, I have to make this video fast because otherwise I'll be late for work. But I had a funny experience this morning and yesterday. I was talking to Anthony, and I forget, I don't think I talked to G yet, but it's time for me to start preparing my own sessions of the Veil. And so Anthony said, well, how's that going? And I said, well, there's a few things I have to do because we transferred the GM sheet, the MC sheet, so and actually G set me up wonderfully, and so I just need to twist a couple threats, adjust a couple things. But one of the things I said was what I really need to do is make myself a bit more of a cheat sheet than the Veil actually gives you, because a lot of games give you like an MC sheet or a GM sheet, gives you all the basic moves or other things that are going on in the game. And I said, there's more moves in the game than what is on that Game Master sheet. I'm noticing, and there's so many in that game, and they're so bizarrely named sometimes. It can be really daunting, and I really want to be able to look at a sheet and be able to use them right away. And I laughed and said that's one of the things that Apocalypse World and Powered by the Apocalypse games seem to have imported from old school as well, outside of all the best practices, is the sheer number and volume of obscure rules and what have you. And we kind of laughed about that. And this morning I went to the gym. I've been good. I've been going in the morning now, and I've been trying that. It's working out great. But I decided maybe I'm being unfair, so I counted the moves in Apocalypse World because they have an index of moves in the back. So I'm sitting there on the exercise bike. There are 92 moves in Apocalypse World, 92. And so I told Anthony that. I said, well, how many moves are in Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerers of Hyperborea? Yeah, I said, touche, because there's quite a bit of stuff in there. And I sort of quit back, well, at least, noticing a secret door isn't like, hey, check this crap out, eh? Well, I didn't say crap, but you know what I mean. And, and that's very tongue-in-cheek, because, of course, there's some obscure stuff in there, and it's easy with, 30-some-odd years later to forget just how daunting and overwhelming figuring out something like first edition Dungeons & Dragons was, with the rules all over the place. But one of the things that I've mentioned this before that I like about the game Uncharted Worlds, which is another Powered by the Apocalypse game, is that not only does it not have a ton of moves, but the names of the moves are very intuitive. And it seems to be a thing, started by Apocalypse World, and this is not an anti-Apocalypse World or anti-PBTA video, so don't get the wrong idea. But a lot of the moves are very colorfully named, and they seem to have gone to great lengths to name them in a cool and evocative fashion. And a lot of times I just wish they were named much clearer. Just hit something, heal somebody. And sometimes they're named like that, but like in particular, the moves in Uncharted Worlds are named very simply. But then I thought for a second, and I said, in a weird way, those creative, cool, evocative names for all those moves are kind of foreshadowing what a lot of these games seem to be about, or a lot of like what you're going to be doing in the game. Like I mentioned not so long ago in a video, it seems to be that a lot of the activity, or what you're actually doing in these games, is playing the game to kind of see like how cool and how evocative and how awesome and colorful you can make the narrative. So in a weird way, those evocatively named moves, with the cool and colorful names, seems to be a foreshadowing of what you're actually going to be doing in play. So kind of interesting. So that was just kind of my thought for the day. That hit me, and I said, huh, isn't that weird? Hey, check this crap out, eh?